A big thanks goes out to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. Well, welcome everybody to the Carmanah Walbran Valley. Now, because of the conditions at our last location, because it was getting harder and harder to get to the Carmanah Valley proper, we've decided to come round to the Carmanah Walbran, which is all the way on the other side of the park. And I have actually done some videos here probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. I'll leave a link to one of the videos in the corner here. But getting here was was a bit of a challenge. The roads have really deteriorated over the years, and for a while there I didn't think we were going to make it, but we got here. We're here for about an hour, and then all of a sudden someone drives up in a really low two-wheel drive car. They must have bottomed out I don't know how many times. I don't know how they're going to get out, because it was pretty rough. I mean, you'd have to go really slow, I would imagine. Anyway, they came here in a car. This area it's quite different than the other side. There's a waterfall here, and obviously some big trees. So, hoping to get some half-decent shots here today. Yesterday was a challenge because it was sunny all day, but today this morning it started to cloud over, so I think the conditions are going to be really good for forest photography. So I hope you can stick around and join me for the rest of the video. So the great thing about Carmanah Walbran is that you have this really beautiful waterfall running down the center of the old growth forest. It would be really nice if there were some big old trees right on the edge of the waterfall, but I suspect that if there were, they'd probably get washed down during heavy rain, because the stream fluctuates, and they've had some really heavy storms in here, just wash everything away. But having said that, there's some really cool spots. There's a lower waterfall that hopefully we'll try to get to later that I have photographed. But this upper waterfall, it's more like just a low-lying, I don't know, it's not that steep, but there's some really great water patterns in there that I'm trying to photograph looking down the stream there. So yeah, it's quite cool. Now for this shot looking down, the rocks have a lot of sheen on them, so I am putting on a case ND filter with a polarizer mixed in to slow the shutter speed down. I've got it down to about half a second, but I don't want to get rid of all the sheen because as I've said many times, I think it does give it a bit of contrast and depth. If I just get rid of all that sheen, then it just flattens it out. So I'm using it sparingly, but definitely using it to get rid of some of that sheen. Come a little bit higher, and there's a lot of green algae growing in the top of the waterfall, and there's some really great patterns in here. The one I'm concentrating on right now, kind of a Z in the rock, nice green, and I'm just experimenting with different shutter speeds to see where the water starts flowing, trying to get it to flow throughout the whole frame. And Brian's it's really slippery over there. He's got his boots on. They look really sketchy, so I guess I should leave the camera on just in case he goes in and make for really dramatic footage. Thank you once again to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. Are you ready to take your online presence to the next level? Meet Design Intelligence by Squarespace, a fusion of world-class design and AI technology that unlocks your creative potential like never before. Build a stunning, personalized website that's as unique as you are and stands out from the crowd. With Squarespace Payments, managing transactions is easier than ever. Get started in just a few clicks and let your customers pay their way, whether it's Apple Pay, Afterpay, or more. Need to invoice clients? Squarespace has you covered. Simplify your workflow and focus on growing your business. If you're interested in building an awesome website, why not head on over to squarespace.com and give it a try. And if you like what you find, use the code AdamGibbs for 10% off your first purchase. Well, as is the case many times on the west coast here, started raining. Actually, it's been raining quite hard, so we've been hanging out at the vehicles for the last hour or so, and it's starting to slow down now. It's still a bit challenging, but if you find some sheltered areas, it's not too bad. Right now I'm photographing this big old tree. I think it's called is it called the Emerald Giant, Brian?
What?
Is it called the Emerald Giant?
Yeah, the Emerald Giant.
Emerald Giant. Big old western red cedar. Has all of these, it's got about 5 or 6 trees growing out of it. The center of it is dead, but the trees on the outside are still alive, so it's quite spectacular. Finding a composition though is hard. I've got the boardwalk in there, and I've just included the base of the tree because that's probably the nicest part of the tree. great. It's finally stopped raining, and of course everything's looking lush right now. I'm just photographing just two very large trees on this little loop trail here in the Walbran. Beautiful western red cedars. I've decided to do a pano, and the reason being is that as I turn around here, you could probably see that there's quite a bit of bright sky up here. If I do a 4x3 or 4x5, then it ends up including all of that. This bit over here is great. It has a hillside behind it, so that's well hidden, or the sky's well hidden. But if I want to include the whole tree here, then I'm going to end up including the sky, which is a bit of a distraction. So with the 65x24, I'm just including the bottom part of the frame here, which to me is the most interesting. So we'll see how that works out. Now I wouldn't mind doing some different formats, 4x5 maybe, or 4x3. So in that case, what I'll end up doing is perhaps getting a little bit closer to the cedar in the foreground and fill half the frame or a third of the frame with that tree, and then have the other one in the background. So we'll see how those work out. I'm also using a case polarizer, just a polarizer, just to get rid of some of the glare off of the salal, especially. There's quite a bit because of the dampness. So it will saturate the colors, so I might have to desaturate them ever so slightly. Well, I've photographed this scene a number of times, but this evening it just looks absolutely gorgeous. The rain has stopped, and the emerald pools are definitely emerald. They're just beautiful with the mossy trees, and there's some boulders down here. So I've decided again to do a pano because all of the interest is in the central portion. There is a sandbank down there that has footprints in it, but I think they're animal prints. They actually look like bear prints, which is a little bit distracting from here, but I think in the final image you probably won't even notice it. What's really great though is the overhanging trees in the foreground, and then these beautiful pools behind them. So yeah, I think this will turn out really lovely. Going pretty much all the way from the bench here out to the largest of the trees there. I think I'm going to eliminate the snag there. Yeah, just stunning. Oh, good morning everybody. So the rain did stop late afternoon yesterday, and this morning it's beautiful. We've got some nice atmospheric fog up high in the canopy, and the sun is trying to come out, so I've tried to get out as early as possible to try and get the the nice light before it gets too sunny. And I'm just walking along the river here, the Walbran, checking out some of these larger trees. Most of the large trees tend to be right by the river's edge, or perhaps a little bit higher. And then as soon as you get up higher, the trees got quite a bit smaller, with the odd exception. But the trail along here is beautiful. It's got some really great trees. Of course, the hard part is trying to organize them into some kind of order, because they're very chaotic. But the trees that I'm looking at right now, I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. But what's drawn me to this scene is the stump in the background has some really great light on it. So I'm hoping that'll draw you into the frame. The trees in the foreground, they don't have as much light. This one in the middle here has a bit of side light, so that'll help you get directed to the one in the background. It's just that it's very busy around that. So I guess what I'm saying is what I try to look for is perhaps some specific lines going throughout the frame. Like in this case, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 main character trees, and then the fifth one being the very large stump. But surrounding those is chaos. But what I find, for me anyway, visually, is that these ordered larger pieces kind of keep everything in check. Not always, but so that's the idea. I have included a bit of the trail, but I've got down low so that I'm shooting across and not down on it, because I don't want to emphasize it too much. I haven't tried a polarizer yet, but I'll probably put on a case polarizer. There is quite a bit of glare in there, but at the same time it is very saturated because it's the spring. The greens are just really intense, and of course if you put a polarizer on, it just intensifies them even more. But well, let's see how it turns out. Behind me there's some really lovely western red cedars as well, so I'm going to try and see if we can get a shot of these as well. Before I leave you today, I have a big favor to ask. I've noticed over the last year or so that views on my videos has gone way down. Now this could be the result of many different things, including repetitiveness. Perhaps my videos are getting a bit samey or a bit dull. So I'd love to hear your comments on this. What would you like to see? Would you like to see more how-tos? Do you like it just the way it is? Or, I hate to say it, would you like to see more reviews on gear? So any comments would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, thanks very much. Bye-bye.